Welcome back to our channel, everyone. Today is a beautiful day to dive into the absolute madness that just unfolded on our screens. Grab a drink, settle in, and let's get right to it. I can't believe they did that. I really can't. We all watched Josslyn Jax completely fall apart. We watched her mourn. We watched her harden her heart and turn into this cold, calculated WSB agent because she thought the love of her life was violently ripped away from her. Everyone in Port Charles, and I mean literally everyone, believed that Cyrus Renault had Dex. Cyrus is a monster, so it made perfect sense. It fit the narrative. But no, the writers just pulled the rug out from under us in the most spectacular way possible. So Jax just suddenly walks into Josslyn's room, Jasper Jax, looking as suave and mysterious as ever. But he isn't alone. And when that second figure stepped out of the shadows, I gasped. I actually yelled at my television. It is Dex. Dex Heller is alive. He is standing right there in the flesh, looking at Josslyn with so much love and sorrow in his eyes. The sheer shock on Josslyn's face mirrored exactly what I was feeling. She was absolutely devastated, just completely and utterly paralyzed with disbelief. You could see her brain short-circuiting as she tried to comprehend that a ghost was standing in her bedroom. And then Jax starts explaining, and my jaw just kept dropping lower and lower. Jax reveals that he orchestrated the entire fake death. He faked Dex's demise right under Cyrus Renault's nose. Like, do you know how hard it is to pull one over on Cyrus? Remember when they tried this kind of fake out with other characters back in the day? Yeah, didn't work then either. Cyrus always finds out. But Jax used his endless international connections, his massive wealth, and his sheer brilliance to stage a hit that looked exactly like a mob exploit. He made the entire town believe Dex was gone. But why? Why go through all this trouble and put Josslyn through months of agonizing grief? Because Jax wasn't protecting Dex from Cyrus. He was protecting Dex from the WSB. And not just the WSB in general, but specifically Jack Brennan. I knew it. Am I the only one who always knew Brennan was a complete and total snake? I never trusted that guy for a single second, and this just proves it. Brennan actually ordered an undercover agent to eliminate Dex. Because here's the wildest part of the entire episode. Dex didn't just stumble into some random mob crossfire. He was targeted because he overheard Brennan's darkest, most twisted secret. We all remember when Brennan supposedly had that massive stroke and was trapped in a locked-in state, right? Well, Dex overheard Brennan talking and realized that Brennan was completely faking the medical crisis. He was faking the stroke just to manipulate Willow Kane and Nina Reed. Brennan was playing sick to pull their strings and control them. And can we talk about Jack Brennan's absolute audacity? Faking a stroke? Faking locked-in syndrome? That is a whole new level of depravity, even for a soap villain. We all watched him lie in that hospital bed at Turning Woods, playing the helpless victim, while secretly pulling the strings of Nina and Willow. He manipulated Willow's empathy and Nina's desperation to secure his own power base in Port Charles. And the moment Dex accidentally overheard the truth, the moment Brennan's fragile house of cards was threatened, Brennan didn't hesitate to order a hit. He didn't try to buy Dex off or threaten him. He went straight to murder. It just shows how ruthless the WSB has truly become under his command. And because Dex heard this, because he knew that the head of the Port Charles WSB station was a fraud and a manipulator, Brennan put a kill order on him. Brennan used his power, his agents, and his resources to try and murder an innocent man just to keep his sick manipulation of Willow a secret. When Jax found out about the hit, he knew he had to act fast. So Jax used his billions to intercept the assassination, fake the death, and smuggle Dex out of the country. He hid Dex in Australia, completely off the grid, where Brennan's assassins could never find him. Let's really think about the trauma Josslyn has endured over the last. She lost Dex, or so she thought, in the most brutal way imaginable. She believed Cyrus Renault, a known psychopath who has terrorized her family for years, had simply discarded Dex like trash. That kind of grief changes a person. It hardens you. It makes you willing to cross lines you never thought you would cross. And that is exactly what the WSB was banking. They saw a grieving, vulnerable, angry young woman, and they weaponized her pain. They turned her into an agent, feeding her lies about justice and protection, when in reality, they were the architects of her misery. The psychological shift in Josslyn during this scene is just incredible television. You can literally see her entire worldview shatter. Because think about it, Josslyn joined the WSB. She pledged her loyalty to this organization. She thought she was doing something noble, something to honor Dex's memory and fight the bad guys. And now she realizes that the very agency she is serving is the one that tried to murder the man she loved. Brennan didn't protect her. Brennan is a cold-blooded, manipulative killer who used her grief to control her. I mean, she realizes that she has been working for ruthless murderers this entire time. The WSB isn't the good guys. They are the monsters in the shadow. And instead of breaking down and crying, Josslyn gets mad. She gets so incredibly furious. You can see the fire ignite in her eyes. She decides right then and there that she is not going to run away and hide. She is going to stay in the WSB and tear it apart from the inside. She wants to destroy Jack Brennan, and honestly, I am so here for it. Give me dark, vengeful Josslyn taking down a corrupt intelligence. And what about Jax? We really need to give Jasper Jax his flowers. Jax has always been the wealthy, globe-trotting businessman, but seeing him step into this almost James Bond-esque role to protect his daughter's boyfriend is wildly entertaining. He didn't just throw money at the problem. He orchestrated a highly classified extraction, outmaneuvered a mob boss like Cyrus, and completely blinded the WSB. Jax knew that if he slipped up even once, the WSB would have executed Dex on the spot. The sheer pressure Jax has been under for months, carrying this massive secret while watching his daughter weep, must have been agonizing. But he did it because he knew it was the only way to keep Dex breathing. But wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, back to the point. Because right in the middle of this intense, earth-shattering reunion, the door opens again. And who walks in? Carly Spencer, the matriarch herself. Carly sees Jax, and then she sees Dex standing there alive. The sheer, overwhelming relief that washes over Carly's face is palpable. She knows exactly how much agony Josslyn has been in. But that relief lasts for exactly 2 seconds before the absolute, fiery rage sets in. Carly goes nuclear on Jax. How could you hide this from me? Carly is screaming, and I totally get it. I mean, can you blame her? She watched her daughter suffer for months. But Jax fires right back, and his explanation actually makes perfect sense. Jax admits that he kept Carly in the dark for months because he knew she was under intense 24/7 WSB surveillance. Because let's not forget the history here. Jason was arrested by the WSB and held at a black site in Jakarta. Because of Jason's arrest, the agency had their eyes glued to Carly. Carly's reaction is honestly one of the most layered performances. On one hand, you have a mother who is experiencing the ultimate miracle, seeing the light return to her daughter's eyes. But on the other hand, she is a woman who has survived the mob, survived Cyrus, and survived the WSB's relentless surveillance. When Jax revealed that the agency was watching Carly because of Jason's arrest in Jakarta, you could see the pieces clicking together in her mind. Carly realizes that her own home, her own life, was a fishbowl. Every phone call, every visitor, every tear she shed over Jason and Dex was being monitored by the very people who orchestrated the nightmare. The violation of privacy is staggering, and it completely justifies her initial explosion of rage at Jax. Jax knew that if he breathed a single word to Carly about Dex being alive, the WSB would pick up on it immediately. Carly is fiercely protective, but she isn't exactly known for her subtlety when she is emotional. If Carly knew, Brennan would have figured it out, and Dex would be a dead man for real this time. Jax had to risk Carly's wrath and Josslyn's temporary heartbreak to ensure that Dex actually survived. It is such a complex, impossible choice, and it just highlights how high the stakes really are right now. This revelation leads to Carly realizing that the WSB's promise of safety for Josslyn was nothing but a cheap, manipulative lie. The agency used the trauma of losing Dex to mold Josslyn into their perfect little opera. They controlled her through her grief. And now that the truth is out, a massive argument explodes in the room. Jax is pleading with Josslyn to pack her bags immediately. He wants her to get on his private jet, flee Port Charles, and hide out in Australia or somewhere safe where Brennan can't reach her. Jax is acting like a desperate father, trying to save his little girl from a war zone. He knows how dangerous Brennan is. He knows the WSB will stop at nothing to silence loose ends. Carly is torn, caught between wanting her daughter safe and knowing that Josslyn is too stubborn to just run away. And Josslyn absolutely refuses to flee. She is not going to let Brennan win. She is not going to let the WSB get away with trying to murder Dex and manipulating her life. She wants to stay and fight the monster from the inside. And then Dex steps up. This is the moment that completely broke me. Dex, looking at Josslyn like she is the only thing tethering him to the earth, steps forward and makes a vow. He tells her that he is never, ever going to let her face danger alone again. He spent months in hiding, agonizing over her pain, and he is done running. If Josslyn's going to stay and fight the WSB, then Dex is going to be right there in the trenches with her. Chemistry, the intensity, the absolute devotion in that promise. It is just everything. I know some people are loving this twist, and some people are probably annoyed that another death was faked, but personally, I think this is the best storyline they have written in years. It ties so many threads together. It connects Brennan's fake stroke, Willow's manipulation, Jason's arrest, Carly's surveillance, and Josslyn's descent into the WSB all into one massive, explosive narrative. It makes the WSB feel like a legitimate, terrifying threat again, rather than just a background organization. So what happens next? Are Josslyn and Dex going to be able to outsmart Jack Brennan? Because Brennan is not an idiot. If he catches even a whiff that Dex is alive, he will send a whole army of assassins to finish the job. And how is Carly going to handle knowing this secret while still dealing with her own complex relationship with Sunny and them? Because you know Sunny's going to find out eventually, and when he realizes the WSB tried to kill his former enforcer, all hell is going to break loose in Port Charles. I am dreading the inevitable fallout, but I am also so incredibly hyped for the drama. We are about to see a full-blown spy war right in the middle of town. Josslyn acting as a double agent inside the WSB, feeding information to Jax and Dex, while Carly tries to run interference. It is going to be absolute chaos, and I cannot wait for the next episode. The writers have truly outdone themselves this time, and I am officially strapped in for the ride. Will Josslyn's revenge mission destroy her, or can she and Dex finally take down the corrupt WSB? Drop your theories below and subscribe for more.